Hey, Dame. So it is like the eve of the NBA season. Tell me, recap how training camp went and how you feel heading into tomorrow.
I thought training camp went, pretty well. I thought, every day was competitive. We worked hard. I think everybody was locked in. Our performance in the first preseason game was what we wanted to see from ourselves. And I think every game after that, we underperformed. We didn't have the mentality that we wanted our team to have. We didn't have the energy. I think it was just a good experience for us. We went from playing in a bubble where the environment seemed like it was set up for no fans, and it was screens and virtual fans and, the media and a bunch of people around. So it had a different type of feel to it. And I think in the preseason, and this is not even an excuse for our team. I'm just saying as far as like the environment and how, it was hard to generate your own energy a little bit. And just being in big empty arenas, that first road trip, all the new rules and stuff like that. It was a little bit weird, but as far as on the court, I think I was proud of the fact that once we got to film, guys took the criticism and whatever coaches had to say in film and the corrections we needed to make. We've been working at it, getting ready for the real thing tomorrow. So, I think people will see a completely different team tomorrow.
Next question is coming from Aaron Fentress with the Oregonian. And just real quick for people that hopped on, Dave's just answered one question so far just about outlook with the season starting tomorrow. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Damian, what do you expect from Nurkic this year after missing pretty much all of last season? People are talking that maybe he could make a leap and become all-star calibers. What do you see from him so far during training camp? I know he's been working himself into shape. What do you expect in this season from him?
I'm expecting him to be himself. I think for me, every year that I've been in the league, just that one more year of experience, that one more year of responsibility and playing a big part on the team, you get better because you learn about yourself. You find things that you can be better at and that you could, play at a higher level. And I think that's the position that he's in. Each year that he's been here, he's had a major role on the team. We've expected more from him. And he's experiencing new things every season. Coming off injury, he came back right into the fire. He was in the middle of a playoff race. He hadn't played in a year, and he looked good. So I think coming into this year, he's focused on building on that. And it's only one way to find out if he will. When you talk about being an all-star in this league, that's a hard thing to do. Because the league is just getting better, and there's a lot of high-level players out there at every position. So the only way you do that is go out there and show it, and that's something that we'll find out soon.
Thanks.
Got another question coming from AJ McCord with Coin.
Sorry, I moved to a quieter place, so hopefully you can hear better. So you said that we could expect potentially to see a different team than what we saw in Denver. In what ways is it, or have you focused on being different?
Well, I think when you have those type of performances, we had two bad games in Denver, in my opinion, and I think the effort was there. It might not come off that way because what we're trying to do defensively, it requires being able to think on the fly. You got to be able to put things together fast and recognize things fast. And it was new for us, so sometimes we freezing up out there in the middle of the plays and, just having a hard time putting it together. And I think we came back from Denver and we made some adjustments to it and kind of went back to some things we did before, but it's mixed with some of the new principles. And I think just already in practice, everything is, you can tell it's more comfortable for everybody. You can tell it's clicking faster and it's just easier for us to do, with such a short camp and, not a lot of time with new players and things like that. So I think you can definitely expect to see something different than those last two games. And it's a real game and not a preseason game. So that plays a part too.
Next question is coming from Jason Swick with The Athletic.
Hey, Dame, I know you always have the highest expectations of winning a championship, but just in general, do you feel like the expectations around this team are a little heightened this year?
As far as what, like ourselves or?
Yeah, like you guys need to perform well this year, or else I think there could potentially be consequences. Does it feel like that?
I wouldn't say it feels like that. I feel like it's that way every year.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's been that way since my third or fourth year in the league, where it was like, all right, if this year we expect, but I think I'm kind of, I wouldn't say blind to it, but I don't, it's not on my mind too much because I play every season with that type of burden, where I'm like, I want to make sure my coaches keep their jobs. And, I want my teammates to, get contracts and stuff like that. I want to accomplish things, that for our fans and things that this organization I know, want to see come back. So I shoulder that every year coming into the season, even though nobody's ever told me I needed to. That's just naturally how I come into the season. So I always have high expectations of our team. And if it's heightened this year, I mean, I don't know. We played a full season last year, pretty much unhealthy. Nurk was out, Zach was out. We lost Hoodie. We brought Melo in the middle of the season. Zach got hurt again in the bubble. I missed some time. We dealt with a lot. Suge missed some time last year. So it was a long year, and we found a way to get it done. And we played well in the bubble. So I think that's probably why, expectations might be heightened because of what we looked like as a healthy team when we came back. And now we got Hoodie back. We added a few solid pieces to our team that really fit our team. So I could see why it would be, but I mean, it's hard for me to gauge because my expectations are always like, I mean, sometimes I've said stuff in the past and y'all even look at me like, like I'm crazy, like you can't really believe it, but like, that's always how I think. So I really don't have a good lens on that.
And Dame, it sounds like you're battling a cold. Is that playing with your ability to play and breathe well?
No, I think it's just from the weather change, probably. Going to Denver, coming back. And I breathe fine. The last couple of days in practice, I've been going hard and doing just fine. My nose just been running a little bit.
Okay.
Next question is coming from Jamie Hudson with NBC Sports Northwest.
Game yesterday talked about how today would be a focus on the Jazz. So just walk me through some things of what you guys focused on facing Utah.
It was what prep always is. We went over some of their sets and how we're gonna guard it. Matchups and things like that. Put in a few actions that we like to run against them. It was the same as any other game, in my career where we get ready to play a team. We do a walkthrough. We talk about what they like to do, what they do well, what we've done well against them. And, then you got to go out there and execute that game plan and play.
Another question coming from AJ McCord with Coin.
So you talked about the defensive sort of strategy, how you guys added a lot, and then it sounds like you're sort of getting a little bit more back to a mix of old and new. How critical was that decision knowing that you did only have 4 preseason games and like 2 weeks of camp? How much of an advantage do you think that's going to be as opposed to a whole new playbook?
I think it's very critical, and helpful for our team because it was a short amount of time to completely change things. And even if, it would be tough even if we had the exact same team, but we got a lot of new players. It's a completely new thing for the guys that's been here as well, new thing for our coaches. So I think it really helps a lot for us to kind of get back to something that we know, but mix it with something new that'll make our defense more aggressive and allow us to show our help side more. We're not leaving each other out there on the island and allowing guys to play in the paint, and have their way. We kind of dictating what they can get. And I think it also helps when you can be more versatile in your coverages and, your schemes. So when you play against certain teams, you can adjust. Like, for example, the defense that we was playing, it wasn't, a good defense to be playing, when it's new to you. If you were an experienced team, and you've been doing it for a few years, then you go against, you know, the Denver Nuggets, who pass the ball really well. They cut, they move. And then you can kind of figure it out. But, you know, it was so new. We on the floor and we, you know, figuring it out on the fly. And it's different wrinkles that we haven't figured out yet. And they was just, you know, kind of manipulating it and taking advantage of it. And now, you know, looking at the things that we've changed and mixed it in with from our past, you know, I already know that would have fared better, you know, against a team like that. So I think it really helps us being able to adjust and, you know, make changes and go to different defenses anyway.
Got time for one more coming from Aaron Fentress with the Oregonian.
Hey, Damian, you guys come out of the gate with Utah, Houston, Lakers, Clippers, and 2 at the Warriors. That's a pretty daunting schedule. Does that amp you up?
Always amped up. I like the fact that we're going to have a chance to come out right away and get tested, and we're going to get an opportunity to show, you know, what type of team that we want to be, you know, from the jump. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. We'll wrap it up there.
All right. So y'all have a good one.